Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Winning Post, powered by the Serum Institute of India. I'm Mandira Lalwani here at this beautiful Hyderabad Race Club, which has become even swankier with this world-class facility where I am currently standing. Hyderabad plays host to the Invitation Weekend this year, except this time it's going to spread across 2 weekends because rain decided to play a bit of a spoil sport. The first weekend of March is traditionally when the Invitation Cup is held. Now, there are several race courses in India, several turf clubs in India, so each of these hosts the Invitation Cup by rotation. This time, it was Hyderabad's turn.
Destiny plays a large part in the outcome of many of life's events. Even with a perfect, infallible plan in place, fate sometimes deals a hand that can throw everything out of order. And Sunday's second match was a day that served as a reminder to this very fact. The Hyderabad Race Club was set to play host to the turf invitational races on the weekend of March 1st. However, the rain gods had an entirely different plan up their sleeve. While day one of the weekend saw the running of 2 of the 4 that make up the invitational races, the Group 1 Stayers Cup and the Group 1 Sprinters Cup, when the time came for the remaining 2 races the following day, the heavens opened up, bringing unseasonal downpour over the Malakpet racecourse and putting an end to the day's proceedings. The stewards of the Hyderabad Race Club took the decision to postpone the races to the following weekend. This was the 9th renewal in the city of Hyderabad, and it is the only time that Hyderabad races in March. The racecourse has been home to many races since the time of His Highness Nawab Mir Mehboob Ali Khan, Nizam VI, and befittingly has a long and illustrious history attached to it. What the club is today is thanks to the dedication, vision and perseverance of one man alone, the current chairman of the club, who has been at the helm of things for 3 decades now. Mr. R. Surinder Reddy holds the distinction of being the longest serving chairman of not just the Hyderabad Race Club but also of any turf club in the world.
There's a lot of work on it. See, it's a combined work of my committee members and the staff. We have this piece of land here was vacant, so we thought, why not we make use of something for our members? So we thought we'll build one small place, say about 5,000 square feet facility for members to come. But then it grew to nearly 16,000 square feet, 3 floors, totally air conditioned and beautifully decorated. And it did not take very long. We wanted to shift this racecourse to the happening place in the central district of Hyderabad. And I happened to approach the Chief Minister, who was kind enough, agreed to my proposal. I said, I'll give you this land. This is our land. This property belongs to us. So immediately he called a cabinet meeting. He sanctioned 175, cabinet sanctioned 175 acres in the middle of the financial district. And unfortunately, when we went to inspect it, this 175 was not contiguous area. So it was not useful for us. So we had to, if not, by now we would have progressed, at least half the racecourse would have been built. But we are still trying to get some land, and things are moving but slowly. Now that Andhra has been split into 2, now we are in Telangana. We have a lot of betting centers in Andhra, but I don't see any difficulty in that. But let us see what can happen.
Race horses are bred for speed, stamina, or a combination of both. Let's start with those that are bred for stamina. The Stayers Cup, which had 12 contenders go in the gates for this 3,000-meter trip.
It was way back in 1981 in Chennai that the Stayers Cup became a part of the invitational races. And it was none other than the great Own Opinion who had taken home that first edition. The race, as is evident from its name, is run over a trip of 3,000 meters and is open to thoroughbreds 4 years and older. This year's renewal saw 12 thoroughbreds come into the parade ring. The Narendra Lagar trained native knight was coming into the contest looking at defending his title from last year, when he had emerged victorious in Kolkata. Dashrath Singh was on board, who was looking at guiding the 8-year-old to a consecutive Stayers Cup victory. Astapi, trained by Altamash Ahmed, was coming into the contest looking at reversing the form on native night, to whom he had run third last year. The 6-year-old had run 5th the last time out at the Group 3, the Queen Elizabeth II Cup over 2,800 meters on February 8th in Kolkata, and with J.H. Christopher on board, was looking at improving on that performance. Windstream from Irfan Ghatala's yacht was coming into the contest on the back of a second-place finish in the Kunigal Stud Stayers Trial Stakes over 2,400 meters on Feb 8th in Bangalore, and was looking at doing one better this time around with Suraj Naredu on his back. Captain Courageous from DM David's yacht, who had taken home the Group 3, the Queen Elizabeth II Cup over 2,800 meters on February 8th in Kolkata, enjoyed the maximum share of support from the markets and had B. Shrikant on board.
A length behind Snowbird on the outside, Windstream making a slight forward move as they hit the downgrade, and then we've got Astapi, Superstorm and Applejack keeping each other together in the rear. They're hitting the downgrade now, and as they go there, it continues to be Sur La Tête, trying to slow the pace a bit now. Just a length the good of Captain Courageous, continuing to be second. Camorra is tracking him all the time on the outside in third. About 4 lengths away, still running fourth there is Okavango. 2 lengths behind comes Rodeo. 2 behind Rodeo there, Native Night. Another length away behind Native Night is Snowbird. Windstream making a slight forward move with Wingfoot. Then there's Astapi, and a further 2 away there is Superstorm along there with Applejack. And as the field now approaches the 1100 meter marker, it continues to be Sur La Tête. These 3 have pulled away. Sur La Tête, Captain Courageous and Camorra have pulled away by almost about 4 lengths there from Rodeo from Bombay. Astapi is the one who's made a quick forward move to be 5th. Just behind is Native Night, now beginning to show a little urgency. Then there's Windstream just behind as they hit the rising ground towards the 800 meter marker. Just behind him there's Snowbird, Winged Foot, and then we've got Superstorm. And dropping out of it suddenly there is Okavango. But with about 600 to run in the Stayers Cup in Hyderabad, Sur La Tête continues on her start to finish mission. Just a length now separating her from Captain Courageous on the inside. Camorra comes up on the outside. Astapi comes up down the middle. And it's Astapi down the middle and Windstream making a quick move down on the outside. It's Astapi, Windstream and Native Night trying to get into it. But Astapi still has the advantage there from Windstream on the outside. It's Astapi, Windstream and Native Night. Windstream and Astapi. Windstream and Astapi. Astapi back from Windstream. Astapi is going to win the Sales Cup here from Windstream and Native Night. So a tremendous race here.
Astapi took over the running at the top of the turn and battled home strongly, denying Native Night the chance to score a Stayers Cup double. He was followed by Windstream, with Native Night following half a length behind. Captain Courageous came in 7th.
Well, let's talk about the Stayers Cup first. Astapi, what a return to form that was. And very simply, just a change of equipment went ahead and did that for him. No one would have given him a chance, but 400 from home, well, really turning for home, he looked a winner. Tremendous performance there. And clearly, for me, the take-home point from this race is that Altamash Ahmed is in tremendous form right now. The stable is firing, and for a young kid to come out and really prove himself on a national scale like this, it's very big. He's won the Indian Derby. He's now won the Stayers Cup. He was extremely unlucky in the Indian Derby last year. Clearly, the best horse didn't win that race. And, you know, what can you say? This is a young trainer who's going to keep attracting better and better horses and owners.
Moving on now to the Sprinters Cup, that's run over a distance of 6 furlongs. This year had 14 contenders lined up for it, but all eyes were on the Bazin Chinoy trained Neffin.
With the champion of the stayers anointed, it was time for the crowning of the sprinters, with the Group 1 Sprinters Cup to be run over a trip of 1200 meters. This year's renewal for 14 thoroughbreds built for speed come into the parade ring. Basin Pinoy's 8-year-old Charlton Neffin was coming into the contest looking at repeating his performance from last year, when he had emerged victorious in Kolkata. The chestnut gelding retained the services of Jimmy Fortune, who had guided him home in the previous edition. Dancing Prances from Altaf Hussein's stable was coming into the contest on the back of a second-place finish in the Black Dog Trophy over 1200 meters during the Indian Derby weekend. Speed 6, trained by S. Padmanabhan, who had run second to Neffin in last year's running, was coming into the contest on the back of a win in the D.P. Sharma Memorial Sprinters Trial Stakes in Bangalore on Jan 31st, and with B. Lewis holding his reins, was looking at going one better on Neffin this time around. The much-touted favourite Marinsky from Pacey Shroff's yard was coming into the contest on the back of a second-place finish in the Group 2 Dr. S.C. Jain Sprinters Championship on Feb 9th in Mumbai.
Marinsky is trying to look for an opening down in the centre, but a Dancing Phoenix still about a half in front of Dancing Prances. Speed 6 and Neffin is the one flying on the outside, and it's going to be Neffin for Speed 6 and Dancing Prances. Neffin for Speed 6 and Dancing Prances look together. Very close call between Neffin, Speed 6 and Dancing Prances.
Neffin took home the Sprinters Cup for the second time in a row, with Jimmy Fortune giving him an impeccable ride, clocking a time of 1 minute 10.58, even as Dancing Prances and Speed 6 chased him down in the final furlong, with Marinsky having to settle for fourth.
Nothing goes through my mind except we pray to God that he wins. Very gratifying. He's had his share of problems. We've had to have him operated on at least twice. Then we've given him stem cell therapy. We've done a lot of work with him. But he's a very, very good horse and he's come out of it all well.
All right, great performance there from Basin and Neffin to come out and win this. Let's not forget Jimmy Fortune. Back-to-back Sprinters Cup, you've got to be very special to do that. And Neffin has always been a very, very special horse. So you just can't say enough about what a credit Neffin has been to the owners Dilip Thomas, the breeder Shapur Mystery, to Basin and to Jimmy Fortune. Tremendous performance, battled hard and got home strong. The Sprinters Cup has very fast horses, obviously, and it's always going to be a case of a bit of luck, and I think the horse that was possibly unlucky here was Marinsky. Just didn't get the openings at the right time, possibly got into a bit of traffic trouble at a very crucial stage. I think Marinsky would have run very close to Neffin if not had won the race.
Time now for the major PK Mehra Super Mile. Of course, a race that's run over 1600 meters. 12 contenders in the fray for this one.
Last week's card saw 12 milers in the race, and it is likely to remain the same this week as well. Amelia, who is owned and bred by the race's sponsor Miss Amita Mehra of Usha Stud, is the principal contender here. The filly came out and won the Black Dog Trophy during the Indian Derby weekend after a disappointing run in the Delton Casino's Indian 1000 Guineas. She has had trouble with her legs in the past, but if her performance the last time out is anything to go by, she will come out tops in this one.
Well, Amelia is my favorite filly. She's like a deer. She's so beautiful. If you see her in the paddock, she's got amazing presence. She's got a big heart. I think she runs with her heart and not her legs, because she had some issues with problems with her legs earlier, and she's been injured and so on. Had a very unfortunate run in the Indian 1000 Guineas, where I believe she should have won. But I think that we hope to win this race.
Pacey Shroff's Marinsky will be her main challenger, having already beaten her in the Indian 1000 Guineas, and more so after her defeat in the Sprinters Cup in Hyderabad, where she had been tipped as the one to win.
Is on the inside as the head turns for home. Round the turn and into the straight, and it's going to be Mint approaching the center from sheer class. Emilia is looking for the split on the rail side. Marinsky now making a forward move, and just look at that, Circle of Life is coming up with a big run on the near side. Then there is Before Memory Fade, but it is Marinsky is about a length and a half ahead. Circle of Life is challenging on the near side, now been switched on the far side, but Marinsky, it's going to be Marinsky in the Dalton's Casino in the 1000 guineas from Circle of Life. Starry Eyes, Mint approach Kukunov, Inchi Special Trance, Before Memory Fade, sheer class. Up that is Monkia Archduchess.
Winner of the Group 3 Calcutta 1000 guineas striking, who ran second in the AL Kohli Memorial North India Derby over the same trip, is another likely contender here. The filly has won her only race in Hyderabad over 1400 meters and raked up the top 2 positions in her previous 2-mile races and cannot be ruled out. Supreme Star from Nilesh Naredu's yard won his last outing over the mile trip, the R.N. Kanga Gold Trophy on Indian Derby Day, and his trainer is confident of the 5-year-old's chances this time around as well, even though he has never raced in Hyderabad.
Supreme Star won his last outing over here on the Derby Day, the R.N. Kanga Mile, which he won by a short hit, but he's a horse, has a big heart to gallop, and I hope he does in Hyderabad too. I think we all have to beat Marinsky, who I think last time she was unlucky, and the mile is the right trip, I think, so for her.
Storm Tracker, who ran third to Supreme Star, will be another one to watch out for. The 5-year-old seems better suited for the 1400-meter trip, having won 6 out of 7 in his career. But given that he has raked up the 2nd and 3rd positions in his last 2 outings over 1600 meters, it seems like only a matter of time before he claims the top spot.
Now for the grand finale of the weekend, the Invitation Cup Trophy, which is run over the Derby distance, which is 2,400 meters. No surprise then that there have been 19 doubles so far that have won the Indian Derby as well as the Invitation Cup.
The 51st Indian Turf Invitation Cup will see a large field in contention this year. The race is run over 2,400 meters and for the first time has been opened up to older horses, which will make the going even more interesting. Off the field, the foremost contender seems to be Allendale from Altamash Ahmed's stable. The 4-year-old recorded a stupendous victory in the Indian Derby this year, run over the same trip, and if he manages to pull out the same form, there will be no stopping him. Allendale's main competition will come from New Roy, who had beaten him in the Indian 2000 guineas before running 4th to him in the Indian Derby, where he had been given an aggressive ride. With B. Shrikant back in the saddle, the colt is most likely to make Allendale work for this one. Another contender who cannot be ruled out is Jeremiah from Pacey Shroff's yard. The grey gelding had run a luckless 7th to Allendale in the Indian Derby, but had displayed superb promise when he won 5 races on the trot, including the Nanoli Stud Pune Derby, and given a chance can take on both the 4 runners.
1 and 2 for trainer P. Shroff. Jeremiah winning the Pune Derby, taking style from Circle of Life, fight for 3rd.
Winner of the Group 2, the Golconda St. Ledger Tintinabulation, is another with a fair chance here. The 5-year-old holds an advantage over the rest in that he has won 2 consecutive races on the track, with the last one being over the same trip. Toro Loco has sealed his position as one to watch out for, with his performance in the Group 2, the Bairamji Gigi Boy Eclipse Stakes of India over 2000 meters, where he displayed superb turn of foot to take home the race in the last 200 meters. Amongst the fillies, there are 2 who are most likely to give the boys opposition. Starry Eyes from Kuji Katrak stable, who ran 2nd in the Indian Derby ahead of Murai and Jeremiah, is the foremost. And if she has A. Sandesh guiding her home again, the boys should have reason to worry. Circle of Bliss, who ran 3rd in the Indian Derby, is another one and proves that if given a good ride, the fillies can do better than the boys and there is no reason for them to not come out victorious.
Circle of Life, I think, was a little unlucky in the Derby because she got an interference from Ramu's horse, the pacemaker, who came out onto her. Otherwise, she might have been closer. I think that the long straight will suit her. And if Hughes is not that far behind, he should be able to turn the tables.
Well, looking ahead to the invitation, I think the rain has certainly played spoil sport, and um, the track conditions are going to play a big role, I feel. Which horse acts on the track, how soft is it going to be, how firm is it going to be? It's hard for me to tell from here. I think Allende is the best horse, and I think everyone will have to beat him. I think this crop of classic contenders is better than last year's crop of classic contenders, and I think that will become apparent in this year's invitation. His main threat, I feel, will come from Murioi, um, possibly Circle of Life, who's also going to be right up there. Starry Eyes is an interesting contender, but again, if you see, I'm talking about the 4-year-olds who are going to be really in the forefront of this year's invitation. I think a lot will depend on how the track holds out and how they act on this surface, but for me it's going to be a 4-year-old who's the winner, but my first pick obviously being Allende.
The Wadia Gold Cup is run over a trip of 2,400 meters and is open to horses 4 years and older. The top contender here, if he runs, is definitely Silver Arrow. The colt won 4 races on the trot, with the last one being the Mystical Trophy over 1,600 meters on November 28th, before being withdrawn from the Indian 2,000 guineas after he reared up in the stall. He has had some problems with gait practice, and if his trainer has managed to overcome that, there is no reason why the 4-year-old should not come out and win this one.
Main danger, if the gate thing is cleared, will be Silver Arrow from our stable only. So if Silver Arrow runs, I think Silver Arrow will be the main danger. If Silver Arrow for some reason does not, then I think Master Shifu ought to be well placed to win the race.
Master Shifu, who ran 4th in the Eclipse Stakes, too seems like one with a fair chance here. The 4-year-old had won the Group 3, the AC Ardeshir Trophy in Mumbai over 1,800 meters, and although he seems more suited to a shorter distance, is likely to give a good run if given a chance.
I think he's in form after winning the AC Ardeshir, and although he was the only horse, the older horse to be invited from Western India for that, the non-classic crop, we thought not taking him to Hyderabad, but to keep here and target him for the CN Wadia. So I think he will be well placed on the scales, and he should run a good race.
To the Manabon from Nosher Kama's yard is another one to watch out for. He ran second to Toro Loco in the Bairamji Gigi Boy Eclipse Stakes of India Group 2 over 2,000 meters and is likely to come out one better this time around. Another one with a chance here is Kukuna from Imtiaz Seth Stables. The filly ran 11th in the Indian Derby, but when faced with a less intimidating field, has proved that she has the prowess over the 2,400 meter trip, as was displayed by her third to Isn't She Special in the Vilu Poonawalla Indian Oaks. Caesar Star, trained by Adhiraj Singh Jodha, is another likely contender. He had run second the last time out in the Homi Modi Trophy over 2,400 meters and will likely give a good account of himself this time around as well.
Caesar Star has had an up and down season this Bombay season, so his last run was quite hopeful, and it was quite suggestive over 1.5 miles. So I'm hoping that he'll reproduce that run. The last time I kept him fresh because he was racing quite often, so I usually work him quite hard because he's a solid horse. But last time, because of all his races, he was pretty fit, and I tried a change of tactics, so I kept him fresh and he raced well. So that is probably going to be the plan for the CN Wadia as well.
Well, I think if Silver Arrow starts in the CN Wadia, and he is the same horse before he had all these problems, I don't think anything's going to beat him. I've always had the highest opinion of him. I actually thought that he's the kind of horse that's in the calendar of Murioi and Allende. He's that good, and I think if he's on his game, he's obviously had a few mental issues as against physical issues, and if that hasn't affected him and he starts, nothing at all is going to beat him in the CN Wadia. He's going to thrash this field.
That's all we have time for on this episode of The Winning Post. Remember, if you've missed anything at all, you can always catch it on our YouTube channel. Remember to like our page on Facebook and follow Mohit Alwani on Twitter for regular updates and tips. And until we see you next week, may the horse be with you.